No clients for 7 months. I had one client, 380 pounds a month. The next client I think was 750 or something like that.
You're not doing that all by yourself?
All by myself.
Really?
All by myself, yeah.
How old are you?
17.
What happened when you reached the age of 17, you decided to drop out of school?
Correct.
Why?
Because I was making like 20 grand a month and I had an employee.
This was doing which?
At that point I had an agency. Okay. So after I was doing the Instagram accounts, from there, I said I saw the way that it was going. I made decent money. It must have been 10 grand, something like that. Mm-hmm. Enough that I felt very rich at 15. And then I just got really into fitness, like super into fitness stuff. And, you know, I was trying all different things, conjugate methods, squat every day, all these different splits. And, you know, I was learning the difference between, you know, your thoracic, your cervical, you know, learning body anatomy and stuff like that. And I would just bite off my friends' ears, and my friends' parents' ears. And I would basically just hustle my friends' parents into paying me 20 pounds an hour. And I would just sell them monthly packages. And back then that was like,
you were a personal trainer.
Yeah, bro. At 15. Yeah.
Damn.
Super qualified. But yeah, I think my friends' parents just respected the hustle and respected I had initiative. And I may have not been the best personal trainer, but actually
being a personal trainer, you learn some good skills doing that. Yeah. Like how to communicate with people.
For sure.
How to, you know, motivate them, get results from them.
Yeah.
It's a good skill to have. And doing it at 15 is pretty cool. But how did you do that when you were at school at the same time?
After school? Yeah, no, I've always been a workhorse.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, yeah, the workhorse stuff that's never been an issue. So that led me into, I'm watching all these fitness influencers, and I'm like, yo, you know what? Why don't I just pick up a camera and just start vlogging my life? Like, start making videos, and you know, they would get like 13 views, but I didn't really care because it felt like someone I could talk to. Because as I said, back then, the self-development stuff, it wasn't cool. You were legitimately lame. You were an outcast. In school, I was a full outcast. I was lame. Like, everyone laughed at me. And
the acne was very strong as well.
Acne was also very strong. Yeah. It's rough. It was probably like fucking all the protein shakes. Because you know how the diet is back then. Diet's like stuffing as many carbs as you can, dirty ramen. I remember Tesco used to have you could buy 3 packs of Reese's cups. So 3 packs, 9 Reese's cups for £1.20. Like, all I viewed food back then was just calories.
Yeah,
I didn't give a shit. Micronutrient, macro, I didn't give a shit. Like, just calories. Because also I have Russian genetics, so like I'll be very honest. I'm one of those people, I can eat anything, nothing changes. Like, I will not gain fat. It just doesn't happen for me.
That cheap protein powder will mess you up as well.
Bro, it fucks you. Your bowels, your skin, everything, bro. Yeah.
So at what point did you decide, oh, well, this is fun, but this is not for me?
So I was doing that. I had a YouTube, and I was kind of honing in my craft of photo, video. And then from there, I just started reaching out to people and saying, yo, I'll give you a free video shoot. I'll make a little video for you. I'll do a photo shoot, stuff like that. And then that's how I started getting some photo video clients, until the day where one business was like, can you do this for us, like, long term? And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, could you like manage our social media and like create content and post it and grow it? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I sent out my first quote, which was, I was so scared to do. First of all, I charged weekly because I thought that might sound cheaper. And I also I was too scared to charge £100 a week. So I charged £95 a week. Smart. Yeah. They didn't see through that at all. Well, actually, I guess they didn't, because they ended up signing. And that was my first client. That was in August of 2016.
Was it a thing back then? Social media management and marketing?
I remember back in that year, I think 2017, it started to become a thing. But when I did it, like, I didn't view it as like, oh, I have a social media marketing agency or whatever. Like, for me, it was just, because it wasn't really that. I was just a service provider. That's it. Like, at the end of the day, if you can call yourself a business owner and this and that, but if you are a solopreneur, you're just a glorified contractor. And by the way, there is nothing wrong with that. You can easily make 10, 15, 20 grand a month as a glorified contractor, but you just can't really call yourself a business owner. You know, you can't call yourself an agency. There's no agency. It's just you,
Yeah.
you know? But didn't matter. You know, I started my agency at that point, and
Was it, so you had that first client. Did you start taking on more people? And
I
then
tried.
you thought,
I tried for 7 months. Nothing worked.
really?
No clients for 7 months.
So you just
But
had one?
I had one client, 380 pounds a month. And if you took the amount of time that I was actually working, or what I was getting paid divided by the amount of time that I was working below,
£2 an hour.
below minimum wage. I was doing 30 Instagram posts, 30 Facebook posts, all unique. 30 Instagram posts, 30 Facebook posts, and also managing their Snapchat, which meant I had to physically be there.
What a great deal for that.
Tell me about it. And then the next client I signed a client 7 months later. And it's so crazy because it's, I guess, come so full circle with them. The next client I signed was Gemflow.
Oh, yeah.
So I signed them, and that was 1,900 pounds a month.
How did you wing that? That's pretty good.
I don't know.
Genflow, my first introduction to Genflow was the Athlete app.
Really?
That was the first platform where I could host my programs in an app form.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started working with them, like that was, for me, it was a very good moneymaker because you could just scale it. I had no idea Genflow was.
That was my first client, or my first big client. And then 2 days later, I signed 3 days later, I signed another client for 1,500. And then the next client I think was 750 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how life goes when it rains. At
this point, you're not doing that all by yourself.
All by myself.
Really?
All by myself. Yeah.
How old are you?
17.
Okay, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Fuck you, school.
Yeah.
I've got work to do.
Well, no, at that point I said it was like $5,000 a month or 5.5, something like that. And that's fine, but that's not like drop out of school territory fine. I think the point at which I dropped out of school, I was making 15, 20 a month, but that was also 6 weeks later.
Yeah.
Like the things in life, when it rains, it pours. Yeah. And that goes both ways. When things are shit, they're usually very shit. Mm-hmm. And when things are shit, it's not one thing. It's usually multiple things stacked on top of each other. Mm-hmm. And when things are good, you're on top of the world because usually multiple good things happen in a row. And yeah, that 7-month drought period for me was, I think it's very funny. And I get accused sometimes. People are like, oh, you know, he's telling people get rich quick and this and that. And sometimes I sit here and I wonder to myself, are you listening to anything I'm saying? Like, do you actually even listen to anything that comes out of my mouth? Because all I've done over the years is try to tell people, hey, it's going to be slow, but what's your fucking other option? Yeah. And the main cancer in life right now, and the main cancer in the world is social media. Because the thing is, in that 7-month window, I wasn't watching, like there wasn't really that content back then. I wasn't watching kids signing clients and making 10 grand a month or 20 grand. Like there was no comparison. I didn't feel any shame. I was like, yo, I'm making 400 pounds a month. This is sick. I'm trying for more. Mm-hmm. I was so happy with myself. I was so proud of myself. Like you're doing something, and it may not be, I didn't give a shit what someone else was doing. I was just proud of myself. Mm-hmm. And by the time the thing scaled up, it was, the reason I didn't quit in that 7 months is because I didn't look around. I just looked at myself and I realized, listen, I got to be patient. This stuff takes time. This stuff takes time to learn these skills. And also, what's my fucking other option?
Yeah, imagine if you'd given up and be like, oh, I'll just stick to personal training.
Yeah. Would have been a very different life.
So you persevered and it was obviously well worth it. After that, where did it go? Do you just continue you dropped out of school, you continue to focus on that agency?
Yeah. So continued to grow the creative agency until a certain point. So the inflection point was 6 months later, where I was working with these clients, but they saw no value in it. So I was getting decent retainer. I was making decent money, but as I said, I'm a very unemotional person when it comes to business. So I look at things for what they are, and I don't get emotional about it. Whereas clients can get very emotional sometimes. They can go, you know, I had clients of mine who were spending 10,000 pounds a month on red bus ads, but then they were like trying to like constantly on my neck for the 2,500 pounds a month I was charging them to manage their entire social media and grow it. And, you know, create all of this content that they could use 100 different ways. And it got to a point where it just got on my nerves so much that I was like, fuck this, I'm done. I need to change things up. I need to pivot. And that's when I started learning advertising. And that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to start offering advertising services. I'm going to start offering advertising services to my existing clients as a small fee on top of what I was already doing.
So just like Facebook ads.
Facebook ads, yeah. And, that's when I scaled to $100,000 a month. No, I'm just kidding. What actually happened is I lost like fucking 70% of my business, because the issue was I was so shit at ads that not only did I lose them for the ad services, but I was charging very small amounts to do it, because I was upfront with them that, hey, I'm just getting into this. But it wasn't that they looked at that and they were like, okay, he can't offer the ad services. They just looked at it as, okay, he's just shit at what he does in general. Whereas they had, they were clients for 6 months before that, very happy with the other core creative services, but I got dropped for both. So that was a rough period where I had to basically just learn advertising. And that was the first time that I really started to look outward and start looking at contractors and realizing that I didn't just need a full-time employee. I could start using contractor arbitrage. I could start using this global market that we have, and the fact that for someone, listen, if I'm charging, at that point I was charging UK clients, US clients, $2,500 a month, $3,500 a month. And there's people in Brazil and South Africa and Romania and Serbia and all of these places where if I can give them 3 of my clients and I can pay them $300 per month per client, they're making $900 a month and they're in university, they are killing it. Like their life has changed. Like they're making the sort of money they would make 3 years after they get their degree. And they're making that in school right now while still being able to go to school. And that was really my first taste of the global marketplace. And as I said, it was patchy for a few months, but I think it was April 2018. That was my first 40 or 50 grand month. And then it was October 2018. I think that was my first 100 grand month.